So as I'm sure we all know, Discord released a statement basically backtracking on their age verification and saying that they're going to release it later this year instead of early March like they planned. In part of their statement that we went over yesterday, we were actually talking about the fact that Discord called out Persona and said that Persona didn't meet the bar of expectation that Discord had. So let me just read this out here. One of our core goals with age assurance is to give you options. As part of that, we've been evaluating multiple vendors to offer a range of verification options people are comfortable with. One of those evaluations was with Persona, a company used by platforms like Roblox and Reddit. In January, we ran a limited test with Persona in the UK only. After completing the test, we decided not to move forward with them. And consistent with our privacy policy, all data was deleted after completing verification. We've set a new bar for any partner offering facial age estimation, including that it must be performed entirely on device, meaning your biometric data never leaves your phone. Persona did not meet that bar. So they essentially threw Persona under the bus and were just like, yeah, it was mainly their fault. So just go ahead and blame them. So Rick Song, who has actually been pretty active on Twitter recently, who is Persona's co-founder and CEO, actually called out Discord for lying. I'm going to go ahead and read out what he says, and then you guys can come to your conclusions on whose side you're on. Honestly, I think both parties suck here, but let's just see what Rick has to say. We understand Discord is proceeding with age verification without Persona, but some of the implications in this blog post about the capabilities and features of Persona are patently false. I am fine if they don't want to use us. I'm not okay with them publicly saying untrue things about our age assurance technologies to try to shift responsibility away from their own decisions. Doing so further erodes trust. We've set a new bar for any partner offering facial age estimation, including that it must be performed entirely on device, meaning your biometric data never leaves your phone. Persona did not meet that bar. They're quoting Discord over here, and this is the response. We offer on-device age verification. We even offered credit card-based age verification for free, their new approach. We made this clear to Discord multiple times. So they're basically saying we already gave Discord the option to have credit card age verification. And from what Rick is implying, Discord said, nah, we're good. We want ID age verification and AI facial scans. Throughout our partnership, Discord was explicitly looking for a provider who could prevent, quote, fraud, deepfakes, bots using video game photo mode to pass age check. We were transparent about the real technological limitations and capabilities of on-device solutions, which I shared elsewhere on the platform. We were upfront that on-device solutions can create a, quote, privacy for only the wealthy problem, where only those with higher end devices would be able to run the necessary models. We understood that they had experienced recent bypasses that could cause regulatory scrutiny. Many of us here at Persona are huge fans of Discord, and some have been users since 2015. We were eager and willing to partner with them to address all these challenges. So yeah, in terms of the things that Rick is saying and Discord is saying, I don't really know what's true or false. Both of these parties seem pretty shady to me, but he actually had a lot more to say down below. Yesterday, I met with the Discord team expressing condolences for the media attention to the situation and apologies for our involvement in it, and understanding for why they no longer wanted to move forward with us. When they mentioned they were going to only evaluate vendors who offer on-device facial age estimation tech, we again shared that we do offer this tech, but can still appreciate why they no longer want to move forward with us given the current media cycle. We asked explicitly for them not to say that this is the reason why they're not moving forward with us. We tried to never comment on anything in public, customer or otherwise, even when, and then he actually names the 3 people who kind of exposed that Persona data leak recently, posted their research about us. Our first instinct was to reach out directly in private to offer context. No lawyers, just me. We've avoided commenting on the nature of our engagement with Discord throughout the entire situation, with journalists, with independent media, and even with our internal teams. When they published this blog post, our team tried to reach out to multiple people on their team to work with them to correct this narrative. We were met with a cold shoulder from their team. We won't be able to make any revisions to our public statement. And he linked this tweet from this VM Funk guy saying, Persona's CEO emailed no lawyers, which I respect. I told him to answer the 18 questions in writing. Everything is on the record and documented. Balls in their court, part 2 coming soon. Hiya, Rick. I appreciate you reaching out. Thanks for not leading with lawyers. That already puts you ahead of most companies who find their entire code base on the front page of Hacker News. So genuinely, thank you. Sending the CEO instead of outside counsel says something, and I want to acknowledge that. Let me go through your points. So from what it sounds like, they were having decent communication between the 3 hacktivists and Rick, but it seems like they had a bit of a falling out, but who knows, maybe they might be able to actually talk it out. We are proud of our partnerships that many of the leading companies in this space, as Discord called out. They choose to work with us because of our strong stance on privacy and data retention, our staunch adherence to regulations, and most importantly, our engineering and security first approach to product. I have worked in identity for over 10 years now, and I started Persona with a small founding team nearly 8 years ago. We started this company because we believe that if identity must be processed, it needs to be done so responsibly, securely, and with all the resources and attention a problem as sensitive as your identity deserves. We believe that it's not realistic to ask companies to ever allocate enough focus to this problem. I know as the one who used to beg for more resources, and we believe that a company built by engineers whose sole mission is to do identity right. Okay, so he keeps going here. I mean, he ends up writing an entire book here, but I just want to give my opinion on some of the things that he said. So here's my thing, right? There's no bias against Persona as opposed to any other third-party vendors. You know, the people who are against age verification, we don't like any of the third-party vendors, and we don't like like any of the websites that are doing ID age verification because we believe it's an invasive process to our privacy. So it's nothing personal against him or Persona, right? However, I cannot ignore the fact, and I'm sure all of you guys watching cannot ignore the fact, that Persona specifically seems to be having data leak after data leak being exposed after exposed. I already made that video talking about it where Persona had that, I guess we can call it a leak, where those 3 hacktivists were able to find all that information on that code base. And then they also had one with LinkedIn where it was essentially being proven that they were sending all of the LinkedIn people's information to all these different sources. Could there be some nuance there? Could there be some details that were screwed up? Maybe, but why is Persona always a third-party vendor that's getting into issues? That is also without acknowledging the fact that even without the recent events that have happened with Persona, they've also been sued multiple times throughout the year. Persona is also funded by Peter Thiel, who's also another very shady character. So again, as much as I'd love to be charitable and give Rick the benefit of the doubt, I just have no faith in Persona anymore because of all of their recent controversies and, their controversies throughout the years. Talk about safety all you want, but at the end of the day, everybody watching this video, me and all the other people on the internet, we just don't want ID age verification because it is just a very invasive process. AI facial scans suck too. I mean, hell, even the credit card verification sucks too because there's just so much risk involved. But anyways, again, he has a lot more to say. There's been a lot of talk about how much Persona's platform does. First, there's no customer who uses all of the 269 checks. There's not even one that comes close to using them all. We gate many of our features and require additional due diligence and permissible purpose before customers can have access to them. The reason why our platform offers so much is because our vision is to build the best identity platform for every use case. Our platform needs to support a wide range of capabilities in order to support all use cases: KYC, AML, online payments, account security, marketplace fraud, remote employee verification, age verification, digital health, gaming, online degrees, and more. But we believe that no matter why you need to verify, your identity should be verified securely and your data handled responsibly. Despite how powerful our platform is, we have a simple business. We verify your identity securely, retain it for only as long as necessary on behalf of the customer, and then delete it as soon as we can. Companies pay us to do this correctly. We do not sell your data. Now again, right? Like, let's give them the benefit of the doubt and say everything that you said was true. Then how come your data just keeps ending up in all these different places? Obviously, we already talked about the Persona data code base thing that those 3 hacktivists had exposed. And then the whole LinkedIn thing happened with Persona as well. And they've also apparently had several lawsuits for not being too good in the privacy standpoint. So yeah, it's just too many boxes being checked of like you guys having like these safety issues. So I can't necessarily just take your word for it. I get it that it's your company, then you have to defend it. But you also have to understand and be objective about the fact on why people would be so skeptical about using Persona. Given how the situation has evolved, I want to get these statements out there now. I probably should have sooner. So he's just going to list out some things that people think about Persona, and he's going to explain his point of view. Number 1 is that they were not hacked or breached. Number 2 is they do not send your identity to the government. Our financial services customers can file anti-money laundering reports on payment transactions through our platform to the government. We do not use your data to train AI. We do not work with ICE or the DHS. We do not work with any federal agency. We are competing for government contracts to be able to authenticate remote government employees. We do not work with Palantir. We do not interact with Peter Thiel. We did take money from Founders Fund, which he co-founded. It's pretty much what people are saying. People aren't saying that Peter Thiel like runs your company or something. People are just saying that you guys have taken significant funding from him, which seems to be true. Our customers are generally the data controller under GDPR parlance. We invest a lot to give them the controls to retain and redact it properly. We schedule for deletion any data we are the data controller of after verification. More importantly, we have no interest in your data. We do not profit off of it. In fact, it's the opposite. The liability is too great and the fines are too high. Lastly, I want to take accountability as well. I should have been on this platform earlier. I should have been engaging with the public sooner. Given what we do, I owe the public far more transparency than I've given it. I didn't because I'm scared of you. I'm scared of the internet. This past week has been terrifying. I'm not a cyborg, but I have also not slept much. I've been operating on adrenaline and fear. Social media is insane. When many of us felt anxiety and frustration about the fear-mongering and hysteria being induced by the media. We have not earned anyone's trust, and rightfully so, but if we aren't willing to trust them first, then why should we have the right to ask for it in return? And through believing this, despite a rough welcome, I've had delightful conversations. I've enjoyed whimsical exchanges, and I've had the opportunity to share what we've learned about identity, but also learning from you about what we're missing. I've learned more about how imperfect we are, but also how understanding you can be. I plan to engage more on this platform to provide the transparency that you should have already had and also correct when things are wrong, whether that's what people are saying or what we're doing. To start, here is our best account for why our source maps were made public. I won't always get it right, but I'll always try to be genuine. And then he also went to go ahead and respond to some people that was commenting, replying to what he had posted as well. So I just want to be fair here. I've made these videos talking about like these potential data leaks that Persona has had. I've talked about the whole LinkedIn thing, and I've mentioned some of their lawsuits. So I just wanted to give Rick the benefit of the doubt, show you guys his whole statement. Now I will leave it to you guys to make your own conclusions. Me personally, as I said at the beginning of the video, I don't have trust in Discord and I don't have trust in Persona. Persona. It's not because I have anything personal against Rick or anything like that. It's just when all of these, alleged, I guess I'll say alleged data leaks happen with Persona, with LinkedIn, with the whole code base, with the lawsuits, with all that type of stuff, it just makes it very difficult for me to trust anything that he is saying or even anything that Discord is saying. I know these two are, kind of like fighting right now, but yeah, I don't really trust either one of them. And I don't blame anybody for not trusting either one of them either. At the end of the day, this is all about that one thing that we keep talking about. We do not want ID age verification. We do not want AI facial scans. It is invasive. It violates our privacy. You can't use that logic of, oh, social media is dangerous for kids. Well, then fucking be a parent and parent your children. Guardians, take care of your children. I mean, at the end of the day, man, the internet in general is just dangerous. So, I mean, come on, you have to make sure that your kids aren't on it 24/7 and you have to make sure that you're a good parent. But I don't want to go back into that rant. Let me know what you guys' thoughts are on the situation in the comments. Persona has essentially called out Discord for lying about them. Please leave a like in the video if you enjoyed it and subscribe for more. See ya.